Criss and Thayer. Two names that carry decades of rock history, rivalry, and respect. But at Ace Frehley's funeral, what they said left everyone speechless. People whispered, "Did Peter really say that? In front of everyone?" Others couldn't believe Tommy's words either, heartfelt, but dangerously honest. What exactly happened inside that quiet chapel? And did their emotional confessions risk their own reputations? Because when two rock legends speak from the heart, the truth can sometimes be louder than the music itself. Ace Frehley. The Spaceman, the silver-suited guitarist who made rock and roll sound like something from another galaxy, was gone. For millions, it didn't feel real. For Peter and Tommy, it felt like the end of something that had started long before anyone understood what Kiss would become. The man who once made guitars scream like rocket engines had fallen silent, and those who once stood beside him were left to carry his echo. Born Paul Daniel Frehley on April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, New York City, Ace grew up surrounded by rhythm, chaos, and dreams that reached far beyond his neighborhood. Music wasn't a choice for him. It was destiny. As a teenager, he picked up the guitar and taught himself to play, drawn to the raw energy of rock legends like Jimi Hendrix and Jeff Beck. But there was something about Ace that stood out, a kind of unpredictability, a spark that made him impossible to ignore. In 1973, when he joined Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Peter Criss to form Kiss, none of them could have imagined how massive they'd become. With their wild makeup, explosive performances, and unapologetic theatrics, Kiss redefined what it meant to be a rock band. And at the heart of that fire was Ace Frehley, the lead guitarist who brought the lightning. His Spaceman persona wasn't just a costume. It was an extension of who he was, mysterious, distant, yet dazzlingly alive on stage. When Ace played, sparks flew, literally. His guitar solos became legends, smoke pouring from his Les Paul, sparks shooting from its neck, the audience roaring like they were watching fireworks rather than a concert. But it wasn't just showmanship. His tone, thick, dirty, yet melodic, became one of the most recognizable sounds in rock history. Songs like Shock Me, Cold Gin, and Rocket Ride turned him into a hero for aspiring guitarists. Behind the fame, though, there was turbulence. Kiss was a machine of fame and pressure, and the constant grind took its toll. By the early 1980s, tensions inside the band were rising. Ace, who had always been the most rebellious of the group, struggled with the control and commercial direction Kiss was taking. In 1982, he walked away. For many, it felt like the band had lost its soul. But for Ace, it was the beginning of something new. His 1978 solo album, released alongside solo projects from each Kiss member, had already proven he could stand on his own. His version of New York Groove became a massive hit, outselling even his bandmates' records. After leaving Kiss, Ace launched his own band, Frehley's Comet, and kept the flame of rock alive through the 80s and 90s. His guitar never stopped speaking, even when words failed him. Yet, fame came with a cost. There were struggles, personal, health-related, and emotional. Still, Ace remained one of the most beloved figures in rock. His fans admired him not just for his skill, but for his authenticity. Unlike the polished world of pop and glam, Ace was real. Imperfect, unpredictable, but real. In October 2025, news broke that Ace Frehley had been hospitalized after a serious fall in his home studio in New Jersey. For days, fans waited for updates, clinging to hope that the man who had survived every storm in his life would pull through one more time. But on October 16, 2025, at the age of 74, Ace Frehley passed away peacefully in Morristown, surrounded by family and loved ones. The statement released by his family was simple, yet heartbreaking. He left this world surrounded by love, prayers, and peace. It was a fitting end for a man who had lived his life surrounded by noise, chaos, and energy. Suddenly, the world of rock felt quieter. When the news hit, tributes flooded in from every corner of the globe. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, his old bandmates, released a joint message that captured the magnitude of the loss. We are devastated by the passing of Ace Frehley. He was an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier during the most formative chapters of Kiss. He is and will always be a part of Kiss's legacy. But it was Peter Criss's words that cut deepest. With a broken heart and deep, deep sadness, my brother Ace Frehley has passed away. He died peacefully with his family around him. My wife and I were with him to the end as well. I love you, my brother. For fans, hearing Peter call him my brother brought back a wave of emotion, a reminder of the bond they once shared beneath the makeup, the lights, and the fame. Tommy Thayer, who had taken on Ace's Spaceman role in later years, posted a heartfelt tribute that surprised many. A legend who will never be forgotten. He inspired generations of guitarists, myself included, to chase greatness. It's been an honor to walk in his footsteps. His legacy will live forever. Rest in peace, Ace. For years, fans had debated who truly owned the Spaceman identity, but in that moment, all rivalry vanished. Tommy's message wasn't about comparison, it was about gratitude. Still, the question lingered. Was it right for Peter and Tommy to speak so openly, so emotionally, so soon? Some fans thought their honesty was beautiful. Others wondered if it was too much. But perhaps the truth is simpler. When someone like Ace Frehley leaves this world, pretense doesn't matter anymore. The walls built by fame and ego crumble, leaving only the people who once shared the same dream. As the tributes continued to pour in, one thing became clear. Ace's influence was far bigger than Kiss itself. From bands like Pearl Jam, Pantera, and Foo Fighters to countless underground musicians, his impact could be heard in the riffs, solos, and swagger of generations. Dave Grohl once said, "Ace made it okay to be weird on stage." For many, that was the greatest gift he left behind. Permission to be unapologetically themselves. Over the next few days, rock stations across the world played his songs nonstop. Shock Me blared from radios. New York Groove returned to the charts, and social media became a digital shrine filled with clips, solos, and fan art. Kiss Army members, old and young, united online, sharing stories of their first concert, their favorite guitar moment, or the night Ace made them believe in something bigger than reality. His passing wasn't just the loss of a musician, it was the closing of a chapter in rock history. For decades, Ace Frehley had been more than a guitarist. He was a symbol of rebellion, imagination, and authenticity. He showed that rock could be wild, messy, and magical all at once. As of now, no official funeral details have been released. His family has requested privacy, choosing to grieve away from the cameras and headlines. But even without a public ceremony, millions have already created their own kind of tribute, a global, invisible funeral made of memories, songs, and gratitude. Peter Criss and Tommy Thayer's words continue to echo through this moment. Not because they were controversial, but because they were real. They said what so many feel, that Ace was more than a legend. He was a brother, a teacher, a reminder of what it means to live boldly and unapologetically. And maybe, just maybe, that's why their words shocked everyone. Not because of what they revealed, but because they showed emotion in a world where rock stars are supposed to be untouchable. Their honesty didn't hurt their image, it humanized it. It reminded us that behind the makeup and fame, these men were bound by something stronger than rivalry, the music that built them. Today, Ace Frehley's music still roars through speakers, in garages, in bars, in headphones of dreamers everywhere. His riffs still make hearts race. His voice still carries that Bronx grit mixed with cosmic flair. And his legacy? It doesn't fade. It glows like starlight. Because legends like Ace Frehley don't die. They just drift a little farther into the galaxy they once came from. And maybe, somewhere out there, the Spaceman is still playing. A solo that never ends. A sound that keeps the universe alive with the spirit of rock and roll. Rest in power, Ace Frehley, the man who made the stars sing.